Ain't nothing ordinary. This shit is legendary. Legendary.
Slow-mo ISO Joe.
In there. That was rude. What's up, Joe?
Throw the slow-mo on there.
I know.
Those are fun.
Very rude.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
They have like side questions that we're going to get to in a second that we just added. Nobody knows yet. So we will get to that real quick. But I want to ask you about the nickname ISO Joe. Did you like it the minute that started? Was there a time where you didn't love it and it grew on you? How'd you feel about that one?
Yeah, it just kind of grew on me. I don't even remember when it, kind of started, but, as my career kept going, people just kept calling me that. So I just kind of ran with it,
I can't imagine not liking it.
Yeah. Joe, what's up, my brother? How you?
Hey, what's up? Lemon Pepper Lou, what's up, baby?
Man, listen, I'm gonna get a little messy with you, man, because Jeff just put your business out there, and he was on his pod and he was talking about he looked at his first check and he thought it was a pretty good check. And then you showed him your check for 2 weeks, and it was a $2 million check, and you put everything in perspective for my boy Jeff, man. You remember that moment? You remember that?
Yeah, those were good times, man. Good times. Hey, those were good times, bro. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves here in Atlanta. Obviously, I'm still here, and I've been enjoying it since '05, bro.
That is such a moment.
Joe, we had Antoine Walker on this show earlier this week.
My guy.
Yeah, and you had played with him and Paul Pierce when you were 20 years old. He was talking about how they basically partied every night, whether it was besides Utah and Indiana or something. What was it like for 20-year-old Joe Johnson playing with guys like him and Paul Pierce?
Man, it was inspirational, bro. I grew up watching Twan play because he played at Kentucky, and I'm an SEC guy, University of Arkansas. And he was one of those big dudes who loved to handle the ball. I think his best attribute was probably passing and getting to play with, and he had a great feel for the game, and then getting a chance to play with Paul, who was still young in his career. He had just signed a max contract my rookie year for like $96 million, Paul Pierce did. I think it was like his 5th year in the league. So he was a different type of Paul Pierce. He was a young, arrogant Paul Pierce. You know what I mean?
Could you have survived playing more than one season with those guys, or it would have got dicey?
Nah, it was short-lived, bro. It was only 6 months into my rookie season. I got traded right after All-Star break, but that's one situation I think could have turned out pretty good. But once what I didn't understand as a rookie, man, once you develop a little value for yourself in this league, they kind of put you on the shelf so they could trade you. Because I went from starting to just riding the bench for like 10, 15 straight games, DNPs. You know what I mean? Then I got traded.
Yeah.
Like a shocking moment. Your rookie year, you got to play guard against Michael Jordan. What was that like?
It was surreal. A moment that, I still look back on to this day. An idol of mine growing up. And I remember when I was growing up, it was only a couple channels you could watch, and I think like WGN, the Bulls was on every night. So getting a chance to compete against him my rookie year, and it was on TNT, like that was a memorable moment for me.
Joe, so your career really began to take off during your time in Phoenix, and in your last season there, you played with Steve Nash, and you played for Mike D'Antoni, and obviously D'Antoni was kind of the trendsetter, the trailblazer of the way the game was played now, up and down, three-pointers. Yeah. What was it like playing for him and with the PG and Steve Nash?
Man, it was so much fun playing for D'Antoni. The floor was wide open, everybody could play make, and Nash just fit seamlessly with guys like Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, Quentin Richardson, myself. He was so unselfish, bro. Nash was so unselfish, and he made everybody around us better. He knew at times, Quentin Richardson led the league in three-point makes that year. I led the league in three-point percentage at 48%. Wow. And it was all due to Nash, man. It would be times, we would come down and he'd be like, okay, Q ain't had one in a minute, or Joe ain't had one in a minute. He would make sure, we would get shots. And it's just little stuff like that. I think that's how he ended up becoming a 2-time MVP, because he could have scored 25 a night, but he settled for 16 points, 14 assists.
Isn't it crazy that year you shot 48% from three, and you look today's basketball, you see these dudes are shooting 15, 17 threes a game? Like, can you imagine if you got that many looks when you're shooting 50%?
Man, I couldn't imagine, bro. But I couldn't imagine. But it looks fun. It looks fun nowadays.
It does look fun.
I enjoy watching it. But I give Nash the credit, bro. And that year I shot 48 from the line, from the three-point line. He just made my job so much easier.
I'm kind of glad you mentioned all the guys you just mentioned, because that roster, when you look at it, is an insane roster. Do you ever think back and just wonder, like, why didn't we get a title? Like, that roster should have gotten a title.
We only had 1 year together. We had 1 year together, and then they broke us up. You know, obviously it was my contract year, so they didn't expect for us to be the #1 team in the league, and you know, I kind of drew my value up to the point to where they couldn't re-sign me. And then they traded Quentin Richardson before I even got out of there, so it was like I don't really know. You know, the management had changed. That's when Robert Sarver had took over, so he really wasn't. I don't know if he just really wasn't feeling me in Q at the time.
And that was the season that Steve Nash won the MVP over Shaq, and then the next year he won the MVP over Kobe. I want to get your opinion. Now that a lot of time has gone, you think he had both of them in the bag, or because the Shaq one was kind of controversial? Did Steve deserve both of those MVPs?
Man, he did. I'm gonna tell you why, bro. We had a stretch. We had a stretch where he missed like 8 to 10 games. We probably won 1 game, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's how.
That's impact.
That's how important he was to us. Because when we had him on the floor, it was like, you know, we was just blowing teams out left and right. But when he wasn't on the floor, it was like, why is the game so hard? You know what I mean?
Real floor general right there.
We just, like this year, we just had the shocking trade, the Luka trade. Believe it or not, people that lived through that, there were other shocking trades that have happened before, one of them being KG and Pierce going to Brooklyn. Did you think when that trade happened and they came to Brooklyn, this is it, something special is about to happen?
Yeah, I honestly, I did. I thought we were going to be the team who could beat the Heat. You know, we was able to get Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry came over, and we started off rocky. I think we started off like 5-15, and we was on the front cover of Sports Illustrated. It was embarrassing. You know, it was hard to even walk around New York. But we dealt with injuries that year with Darren Williams and Brook Lopez getting hurt. You know, we was forced to kind of play a lot smaller and play KG at the 5. So, but for the most part, we made a good run at it. We made a good run.
At one point when you were out there, you called the team selfish. I mean, it's been long enough. We're all past it. Who were you talking about?
Man, what you talking about in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
When I call somebody selfish?
That's what the internet says. Maybe you didn't.
You can't believe everything you hear and see. You know what I mean? Listen. We had a great squad, man. We had a great squad. I think if it wasn't for injuries, maybe we could have beat the Heat. But the Heat was they was tough, man. They was tough.
Joe, anytime we have someone that played with KG on here, we have to ask him. What was the craziest, thing you ever seen him do or say in the locker room or on the court? I know I have my situations with him when it's on the free throw. The dude talked to himself like he would beat his chest. Scared the shit out of me when I was a young player, honestly. Playing with him, what's one of the more nuts things you saw him do?
Bro, I used to try to be like one of the first ones in the gym, right? So I could never be the first one because he would always beat me. And by the time I get there, he already drenched in sweat telling a story. I'm like, dang, what is this dude doing today? Like, it's like he had a story every day. So when you see him and Paul Pierce interact the way they do, bro, that is him. He be on 10.
No, that's every day, Joe.
How does he have so many
we record our pods in the same building. Every once in a while, I'll pop in and chill with him. That is not an act.
Does he just remember everything?
He's intense all day, every day. That's just how he kicks it.
That's him, bro. And I love to see it. But yeah, that's him. He has a real passion, for the game. And you can tell by the way he talks, he starts sweating and everything. He be going crazy. He can't control himself or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I had never been so scared of someone talking to themselves. Like, he wasn't even talking trash to me, and I was like, is this dude okay?
Well, that's scarier than if he's talking to you.
But he's one of those dudes who you hate to play against, but you love him on your team, bro. You love him on your team. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You played with D. Wade and Bosh. That was post-LeBron there. And everyone's already sort of appointed Luka as LeBron's best teammate of all time. You've seen D. Wade up close and personally. Are we kind of forgetting how great D. Wade was as far as LeBron teammates in time?
Yeah, man, D. Wade was special. Even before LeBron, he was special. But with LeBron, he was even more special. I just think LeBron was so great that you know, I think people kind of took a down looking on D Wade, but I mean, we forget, man. He's top 3 2 guards ever. Like nobody get D Wade credit. I don't know why, man. He's a bad boy. I got a chance to see it up close in person. You know, the Heat culture with D Wade and UD and how those dudes led. Man, listen. Hey, he's special, bro.
Real deal. And in your longevity, man, you competed against a D Wade. You competed and played against a LeBron. You also played against Wizards MJ. Wizards MJ, Kobe, Bron, D Wade. Out of all of those guys, looking back, who was the toughest person that you had to guard and play against? Because you went through the gauntlet. That's everybody. That's all of them.
I'm gonna have to probably give it to LeBron. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I played in playoff series against him. I didn't play in playoff series against those other dudes. And playing in the playoff series, you know, Lou, Chandler, I mean, you know everything they gonna do. And you gotta try and stop it, bro. And he was special. Hey, he was special every night. I'm like, God, dog. So all of them were tough in their own rights, but, you know, I played against LeBron in a couple playoff series, and he was special. I played in D-Wade in some playoff series. He was special as well. So, you know, those guys who can shoot the ball whenever they want to, they the hardest to guard, bro.
Joe, I hate to do it, but I got to ask now, especially what you just said. You played against both. You played against both. Obviously, you didn't play against Prime MJ. You played against Wizards MJ. Me and Lou have our opinion. You've played against both. Who's the greatest basketball player of all time?
I'm MJ all day, bro.
Yeah, and you Jordan brand. You can't go against the logo.
Hey, look, I grew up watching Jumpman, MJ. I'm a huge fan, and I felt like he made the game sexy in some aspect, and I just enjoyed it from the time. You know, I was probably about 7, 8 years old, bro, for real.
Yeah.
We're talking about guys that you played against. I want to know in your 18-year career, who's the best player you feel like you've played with?
The best guy I played with?
You got Nash, Pierce, KG, Wade, Bosh, Harden, CP3, Penny. I'm gonna probably go with Nash, man. It was just perfect timing for me. That was my 4th year in the NBA, so it took me kind of 3 years to kind of figure it out. And by the time I figured it out, now I'm playing with 2-time MVP Steve Nash, which we didn't know it at the time, but I think me and him in the backcourt it fit so seamlessly. Like we had so much fun, bro. Lou, it's nothing like going into a game, Chandler. You know, it's nothing like going into a game knowing that you're gonna win, bro. That's how I felt every time we stepped on the court.
Just so your last season in the NBA, you played with both James Harden and Chris Paul in Houston, who both have received their fair share of hate. Do you think James Harden is actually underappreciated at this point, especially from the season he's having this year? Or do you think he gets the flowers he deserves?
No, I definitely think he's underappreciated. He's done a lot for this Clippers team, who I think a lot of people had them out of the picture. But, you know, he's been there consistently the whole year, playing at an all-star caliber level. And, you know, when the playoffs come, he'll be able to, you know, he's going to probably win you a couple games in a series, if not win you the series. So I think his time to shine will come up in the playoffs. And I'm looking forward to that Clippers team making a run. I think they got Kawhi back, so as long as he stays healthy, man, they're a scary team to, you know, to see.
You're going to mess up some people's dreams. Joe, I always wonder if you guys look at these sort of times, these years, the same way we as fans do. So, for example, with Chris Paul and Harden, they only got the 2 seasons together. Do you look at that and think, man, if they could have stayed together longer, or did you know perhaps something was off and that wasn't going to last?
No, I didn't. I think it all plays back to, you know, CP's injury. If he don't get hurt, I mean, I was on that team. If CP don't get hurt, we up 3-1, 3-2, something like that. If he don't get hurt, we get a chance to go to the finals, man. And, you know, you never know. So injuries play a huge part of the game, and those guys were special at those times.
Joe, this is a crazy stat that you played in 9 7-game series in your NBA career, which is bananas.
Stressful.
Yeah. Does one of those stand out the most compared to the others?
Probably. I got a couple of them. I'll probably say playing here in Atlanta when we played against the Miami Heat. in a Game 7. I can't remember. I think that was 2009. And we won that game. And the one in Brooklyn, playing against Toronto, in Toronto, Game 7. Toronto's crowd was crazy. That's probably the loudest I've ever heard an arena, in the playoffs. And it was a very, very hostile environment, but it was so much fun to play in.
Man, another series was that 2018 one where the Rockets missed 37 of 44 threes. That was a crazy.
I wasn't trying to remember. that.
What?
That didn't come to mind.
By the way, that would just be like a normal game.
I was going to say today, that's nothing.
That's a good game today.
Yeah, I think I missed a couple of them too. You know what I mean?
But is that crazy? Like looking back at that, like what do you just remember? Like did we settle into? Like what do you even think when you see it? Because now I'm looking at now and I'm like, now teams like the Celtics shoot 63 the other night. That's nothing.
Man, it's crazy, man. I mean, they were great shots. I thought in that game 7, we had a lot of great looks that just didn't go down. Unfortunately, it was a Game 7, so, it sticks out, more than some other ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Joe,
do it.
Hold on.
We're going to do it.
Let me set the table here.
Set the table. Go ahead.
Dallas Mavericks. They're about to forfeit games, by the way, if they don't get some players. They give you 20 minutes tonight. How many are you getting?
To 20 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, man, I can at least get you 15. 15 to 17 for sure.
I don't want to tell you how many points Lou said you'd get, but he said you'd get 4.
I'll be honest. I said, look, Joe looked like he had a piece, man. He'd go out there and get 4 to 6 points, man. He looked like he had a piece right now, man.
Lou, in 20 minutes, yeah, I can get you 15 and 20. Yeah.
In 20 minutes, you're taking 10 shots. Are you kidding me?
Hey, you know what the next thing?
Hey, I'm gonna be efficient because I'm playing from here up. These young boys, they playing from the waist down. You know what I mean?
Hey, Joe, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because the very next thing I said, well, he still be kicking them young boys' ass in ATL in the summer, though. I said, he still be whooping him, though.
Hey, somebody got to tighten these young boys up around here, man. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Joe, before we let you go, man, it's our favorite time of year. We got March Madness going on. Your alma mater, Arkansas, they're 10 seed right now. Got Kansas tomorrow. What's your thoughts on it, man? How far can this team go?
Man, you know what? I think we're unpredictable, scrappy. We lost our point guard early in the season in Boogie Flynn. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. I think he's, kind of getting back on track, but I'm not sure if he's going to be 100%. And we lost some other key guys throughout the season, but we've been scrappy, bro. We've been scrappy. We've been fighting, so you never know. I look forward to those guys going in and, coming out with a victory.
I'll tell you what, no teams are more prepared than SEC teams this year.
Here we go.
14 teams are in the dance, Joe.
Man.
So SEC will win a chip this year.
That's not what I hope.
How long do you think it takes for Coach Cal to put a team together to really compete for a title? Because he got the star power.
How much Tyson chicken bread is he gonna get this summer?
He got some young studs coming in this summer. Some elite talent, obviously offensively, defensively. I think we've been great, especially in the SEC, shot blocking, rebounding. So we got a lot of guys, man, who are very talented and, can explode at any given game. So I'm looking forward to this tomorrow.
Joe, the yoga speaks to me. Have you gotten Lou to try any of it? Like, you guys are right there.
I ain't got him in there yet. I'm going to get him, though. I ain't got him yet.
I keep trying to get him to go to a class with me out here.
It's time, Joe. Everything hurt. It's time.
I'm telling
you. I know,
you.
bro. Hey, Lou, as we age, bro, we got to keep the joints and muscles lubricated, bro, so we don't have them little knickknacks. You know what I mean?
No, it's time, bro. My back is in bad shape.
When it happens, Joe, videos,
I got you. I'm reaching out.
Lou's going to be a yogi golfer before we're done.
Bro.
I'm reaching out.
Get him all zen.
Right.
Joe, this has been awesome. Hopefully we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Joe.
Thank y'all.
We'll be right back.
Yep.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it back, run it up, run it back.